Okay, so somebody had said that there's no Louis Tomlinson credit on the song Secret Love Song by Little Mix. So I looked into the origin of this because sometimes people can write songs, but they might, I believe you can actually do this the way you can with stories, with novels, where you can have a pseudonym. And like Anne Rice, who wrote a lot of those vampire fiction, she had a she also published under another name. So that does happen. So when it comes to music writing and publishing, I think that uh, there's a similar way that people can still get credited and the royalties, but under a different name. So like pseudonyms, like I can you can write under more than one pseudonym is what I'm saying. All right. So where did the origin of this come from? I can kind of see where it comes from and how it could have organically grown, but so far there's no confirmation that Louis wrote this. But if you look at the lyrics of the song, you can see how fans made the connection. So the so there's the One Direction fan fiction universe. So Tumblr and TikTok are full of so these One Direction related memes and storylines where they talk about a secret love song and or they use secret love song as the background track to sort of fan edited um, Louis and Harry videos, right? So the rumor or the storyline is that it came out of what was happening on TikTok and Tumblr, and fans had begun. So this is just a quick research, so I'm not sure how accurate this is, but the origin of this uh, lore is that there was sort of this organic rise in fans speculating that there was this secret relationship, which I don't believe is secret, but they began speculating that like Larry Stylinson was born, but then the the lyrics to Little Mix, who were friends with One Direction, because of the just like you look at the lyrics and it fit perfectly into the archetype or the architecture of the whole Larry Stylinson um, mythos, right? And so it apparently was based on fans' interpretive and imaginative framing, not on any like official verified songwriting credits. So the song Secret Love Song was released February 3rd of 2016 with Little Mix featuring Jason Derulo. And the official writing credits are Jez Ashurst, Emma Rohan, Rachel Ferner, and Jason Derulo, which is the I think that's the name that people feel might be Louis Tomlinson. But the rumors have or the kind of the speculation continues based on like like the combination of a lot of the fan edits that use that track song, but also the the lyrics. I mean, sometimes this can happen, or it's completely coincidental, where lyrics and this sort of fan narrative they seem to kind of synchronize, but like One Direction and Little Mix, they sort of came up together in X Factor, and there's often like overlapping industry people that are part of their like management and team, right? But if you think about it, like if you kind of like in if you reverse engineer the story of Larry Stylinson and the different footage that you have from the early years where there's like sort of these subtle body gestures and eyes and uh, the the unspoken between Harry and Louis. And of course, it is not fiction that there is closeting in the industry. So this song is the perfect theme song, and it does capture the the theme and the plots and the subplots and sort of the arcs of what Larry Stylinson represents and what it you know what it is, right? So And you think, like, we just finished Pride Month, so I'm also bringing up this song because there are places in the United States where this song is actually still a reality, and it's so easy to forget that if you live in a place like the Bay Area or Los Angeles or Seattle, where it's just you are in a like you're on the liberal coast, right? So every time I hear this song, it's particularly sad because I was introduced to it by watching when I fell down the Larry Stylinson rabbit hole by recommended fan tribute videos using the track and carefully edited and timed with these different footage outtakes of Harry and Louis that you can't help but think that, you know, outside of Larry Stylinson, there are really a lot of actual relationships that are subjected to the agony of the song where you get well, it's obvious they're not asking their partner this, they're asking kind of the universe and the powers above, right? um so it's like we keep behind closed doors. Every time I see you I die a little more. Stolen moments that we steal as the curtain falls. It'll never be enough. It's obvious you're meant for me. Every piece of you, it just fits perfectly. Every second, every thought, I'm in so deep, but I'll never show it on my face. And you think about how over time Harry and Louis did not interact with each other on stage, and in interviews, the way that they interacted independently with the other band members, it's almost like they. And then there was this storyline that they were like mortal enemies, even though Harry went to Louis's mom's wedding. So who invites their mortal enemy to their mother's wedding? Okay. Um, and then it's the pre-chorus, but we know this. We got a love that is hopeless. It's kind of like it's got the same theme of Rihanna's "We Found Love in a Hopeless Place," but that song with Rihanna is more situational. This is more kind of like a human rights violation. It's one whole human rights violation in a song that's so beautifully written because it makes you wonder, especially just after Pride Month, why can't you hold me in the street? Why can't I kiss you on the dance floor? I wish that it could be like that. Why can't we be like that? Because I'm yours. And I think that's why people were so excited about getting a photo of Harry and Louis for the first time together at like an event that is so highly featured in their fan fiction. Like the Glastonbury and a lot of fan fiction is a big thing. And I think Larry is so much bigger than these two, right? It's for all those people that just have had to, whether even if it's not LGBTQ plus, think of all the people that could not be together because of like caste systems, religion, um, race. It's like don't bring home somebody that's not from the same background. Like that's you still hear that, and if it's an anthem that I whenever I hear it now, I associate it with like LGBTQ rights, but I also associate it with just knowing that there are barriers that exist still in even the United States, but even in places that you would not expect, where the only barrier is kind of a social construct, right? Like, so when you think of the movie My Policeman, Tom couldn't be with Patrick because back in the 1950s, it was a criminal act to be gay, and in the movie, eventually one of them is incarcerated because they're gay, which is like, how in the hell is that a crime? That's not a law anymore, but that goes to show how much of a construct was in place then, a very heteronormative one. Um, and so this song has that agony of like, there's literally nothing else other than an external construct based on, tradition or whatnot. Um, and then Little Mix sings this with Jason Derulo. And and his line was, "When you're with him, do you call his name like you do when you're with me? Does it feel the same? Would you leave if I was ready to settle down? or would you play it safe and stay? So it's sort of like it could be, oh, it's an affair, or it could easily apply to a heteronormative couple, but there's sort of it kind of talks about the universalness of love, and I think that this is why maybe this song is also sort of in the meta of it all, in the meta analysis of it all, connected starts to connect and converse with this with the Larry Stylinson ethos. Um, and then Jason Derulo continues and he sings, "Girl, you know this. We got a love that is hopeless." And then Little Mix and Jason, all in union, saying, "Why can't you hold me in the street? Why can't I kiss you on the dance floor? I wish, I wish that it could be like that. Why can't we? Why can't we be like that? Because I'm yours, and nobody knows I'm in love with somebody's baby." So there's where you say that there's this thing about an affair. I don't want to hide us away. Tell the world about the love we making. I'm living for that day someday. Uh, and it just goes on about like why. Um, so yes, there's equally this could also be a song about infidelity, but keep in mind there is, in addition to places where you're not free to love who you love if you're not heteronormative, and or other reasons that are kind of also social construct driven. There is still not arranged marriages, but sort of like familially facilitated unions that are kind of informal, right? That it's not like, oh, I meet you on the day and get married, right? Or I basically your parents say this is who you're going to marry, but there is still sort of the feudal tradition of who you end up with and who's appropriate, and this is so and so. So there's sort of that form of you should marry this person, and they kind of convince you, and then that is a setup for exactly what secret love song talks about. And so this is where it comes sort of full circle to what I'm talking about as to why is it that Larry persists. And it persists because this is a universal condition. It's one of the universal conditions that we can kind of relate to, like it's like as powerful as the love is, it's disproportionate to its viability, right? Or the this thing about what is the kind of what are the rules. And the thing is, if Larry ever does come out, I think it's the triumph of that story that just kind of just gives enough hope for so many out there who really really need it. So thank you, Larry.